Well, I'm going to say something about these berated type of knife sharpeners. A lot of people that are into knives hate, which is the pull-through knife sharpeners. You just set it down here and you pull the blade through it. You got a carbide side and a ceramic side, right? Now, for me, I find these to be very useful. They're not the best sharpeners in the world, but they are quick. And a lot of times, to tell you the truth, with the knife I grab the most for a lot of stuff, because it's got serrations on it too, because it's a great little wire stripper, is this little Remington that I got from Wally World for $5, and I'm sure it doesn't have very good steel in it. I'm sure it's like 420A or something, stainless, but it serves its purpose. I've used it quite a bit, especially mechanic work, maybe scraping off some old gasket material, but a lot of times I use this thing with the wire feature, and it is fairly sharp. I can feel that digging. But I sharpen it just with these pull-through type sharpeners, and I think these pull-through type sharpeners are really good, especially for not your really expensive knives. And the thing is, they're quick. And I'll say a little tip though. After you pull through the blade a few times, you can get a little more sharp by putting a little WD-40 in here on a blade and sharpener. It'll take a little less material, and that'll fine-tune it a little more. These will wear out after a while, and I found that when you're pulling the blade through this way, as they wear out, like not this knife, because that knife would be a little bit big for that, say this one. You want to, I'd go a little more on an angle like that, and then the carbide blades will last. This is the ceramic side though. The carbide blades will last a little bit longer, but you know, they're only $5. This one I actually keep in my El Camino, which is over there. I keep it right in the center console. If you need to sharpen a knife, it's freaking great. Just go right across the top of the blade. You hold the knife down like so, and you just go right across the top of the blade. And actually this way, but either way, you know, either way with this one. This one is a pull through like this. The other thing is, they even have them that are adjustable. They're not that bad though. It's not like what you use, the knife connoisseurs would use to get the best edge. But let me just say this: if you are in special forces, you know, you're a real survivalist, and you got a really high quality blade, you definitely want to use the best edge sharpening tools you can, which is not these. But for most people that don't have the highest quality blades, and they tend to use them for things like I don't know, scraping something off of something that's metal, like I always use for gasket material and stuff, or in an area where you're cutting some branch or something and it hits a stone, and you know, you could spend time doing the actual extra sharpening, but this is quick and dirty. It's quick and dirty. So you just run it through like that, and you got like a handle over here. This one is a little heavier duty than this because the blades are a little wider in there, and it won't wear out as quick. They're replaceable too. But also some of your cheaper knives, like I got better ones. Like these are all. This is a K-bar knockoff. I have a few real K-bars, which are 1095 Crow Van steel. I still sharpen them with this. It gets them reasonably sharp. It's maybe a slightly more jagged edge. If you look at under a microscope, you can see it's not as perfect, but it does the job. And honestly, I don't like spending a lot of time sharpening knives. Usually when I'm using a knife or something, it's usually not just to just cut a piece of rope or something like that. It's usually I'm going to hit the blade on something hard, and I don't like using the K-bars for that, even though I know those blades would handle a lot more abuse. I usually like using a cheaper knife. A lot of times I use like this little pocket knife or the multi-tool. But I like this K-bar. This is a Bud K special for $10 420A stainless steel, not the best. I'm assuming these are 420A, but they would work reasonably well. I'm not sure what this steel is in here. This is a high carbon type steel. This was powder coated. This is an S-wing machete. I sharpened this with the axe sharpener, which of course, as you go over the top of it, of course this would be held the other way. You'd be going this way. You just go right across it. Just go right across it, and these carbide blades will sharpen that. Now, I like this a lot better, especially for a machete or an axe, which is the machete axe sharpener. You can say, yeah, you can do a better job at other tools, but usually you could take this with you, shove it in your pocket or something, or one of the pockets in the pack. You just carry this with you, and if you're out there chopping away on something, and you just want to get the damn thing sharp to work because you want to go on to the next task. This takes 4 or 5 strokes and you're done. And as I said, if you put a little bit of oil, even WD-40, sometimes I use that. Better to use some other kind of oil than that, but just to keep a little bit more of a lubricant when you're going across this after you get it, the chips are gone or the nicks are gone off the blade. Then to fine tune it, you just put a little WD-40 on there, a little gun oil or something like that, and it'll make this smoother because you're removing less material because of the lubricant. But it does, this kind of sharpener to me is kind of like your best sharpener for the cheaper knives with the softer steels. You don't want to use that on, you could use it on anything, or you can use this maybe first to something like this first to get it down to where you want it to be, then go from there. They even make these that are adjustable. You have adjustable angles, but I'm not too much into I think where you really need a super sharp, high quality blade is, I don't know, if you're search and rescue, critical applications, military applications, like you're in the military, survival applications, warfare. Most people don't really, unless they're just like a knife connoisseur, you know what I mean? These are berated by the people that really into sharpening knives the proper way, I'd say, but they work fine for everyday use, especially on lesser quality steel blades that will get dull quick or chip easier or whatever. And I'm not going to spend a million hours getting this thing fine-tuned on something, and it's it's a $15, that's a $15 Bowie, that's a $20 Bowie, it's a $10 K-bar knockoff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I'm going to use something like this. But do they work? Does this work? Yeah, it does work. Like I said, I keep this in my El Camino. I'm probably going to have this one in my Jeep, and I'll keep this one at home. It's a little bit bigger, and I keep this one at home too. But if I'm out, say I was out, and actually, you know what, even this little thing, this will work on a machete. Not as well, but this is more designed for the machete or the axe. And are you going to stand there for 20 minutes getting a perfect edge on stuff if you're out there just chopping away and all of a sudden you smacked into a couple rocks, you screwed the edge up? No, you grab this, you grab that, right? So they're not bad. And like I said, if you put a little oil, I just use WD-40, probably not the best oil, but you put a little, after you sharpen it down a little bit, you put a little oil on it, and it'll fine tune it better. That's what I did with this, because this, I don't have a ceramic on that, and they're not that bad. They're not that bad. I know what people say, but like I said, who the hell is really involved in, getting Aus 10 steel or something like that, or the best super steels out there? I don't know what the hell was it. Used to have 440C was something way back when. I mean, whatever, you know. Most people, they get it because it's kind of like, you know, I got one of those, right? I mean, really. Most people don't go to that nth degree. Now, like I said, if you're, you know, search and rescue, fire rescue, survival for real, not just camping, day camping in a, you know, a national park with, you know, running water and showers, you know. But, you know, do your own thing. I mean, whatever you want to do. But these work. These are cool because, like I said, I keep this sucker in my. This has been in my El Camino since the '90s. Still works. It's not as good as it used to be, but it still works. This one's got used a lot. Still works. I got to put it more. Like I said, as you wear these down, you're supposed to. This one you don't replace the carbide blades on. I just pull it through more of an angle like that. Like I said, I use a little oil on them after I get it sharp, and the oil takes off when you're running it through with a little bit of oil. It takes off less material, and it makes it less jagged on the edge. You can look at it, and you'll feel that it's sharper. But even so, these do get them reasonably sharp. They're not bad. They're not bad for the time spent. It ain't bad at all. And definitely, if you're going to go to real correct sharpening route, you really want to reserve that for the blades that are like high quality steels or mid quality, even like Aus 8 or something like that, you know, Aus 8 steel or something, stainless, not bad stuff. Or, you know, 1095 carbon, 1085 carbon's not bad stuff, right? But I just don't want to bother with that, tell you the truth, because I think I have some of those stones someplace. But I grabbed this because I tend to, when I use a knife, I tend to use it on something really quick that will screw the blade up, even if it's got 1095 carbon steel. Like, in other words, I'll hit something that dulls it up, whether it's steel, whether it's a rock or something, and I don't want to spend all day freaking messing around with it again, you know. So I use junk like this. They're not bad. They're not bad. Good for everyday users. Not good for the people that gotta have the best edge on the best steels. But, you know, steel like this, you're not gonna get. You know, it's only gonna do so much. It's a $15 knife. That's a $20. It's a $15 Bowie, $20 Bowie. It's a $10 one. And I got a bunch more coming from Bud K, just for novelties, because I think some of them are kind of funny. And you know, I don't mind using knives like this for everyday use, because I ain't afraid of, you know, something. I don't want to screw them up, but I'm not afraid of screwing them up, you know. And this damn thing is nice and light too. To tell you the truth, I like this better than the real K-bar because it's so light. But I'm not gonna, you know, be trying to chop down a tree with it or something. So that's another thing. So this thing probably would, you know, this would chop down a tree probably. Anyway, so that's just my quick advice on it. You know, they're just pull throughs, right? They work okay. They'll work okay. Large or small knives. This sharpened serrations too. This was it's this puppy. Not as good as you really want it to, but it does the serrations will run through there. You really want to have that little file on there, but it works. It works okay. So that's just my method. I'm a very practical person. I'm not trying to say, you know, just the best way to do things, okay? I'm just saying, for the average person, it's probably the best way to do things for the kind of blades they buy and the kind of usage they use. You know, I mean, for crying out loud, you might be scraping some old crap off of a barbecue with this thing or something, you know, before you put your burger on there and it's got greasy, caked up stuff, and you're saying, I'm going to scrape that off with my $10 K-bar. Well, you know, then you run it through this a couple times and you're fine, right? That's the way I look at it.